Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. Today we have the next 6 installments of Brian's Nissan Skyline from the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, we do have 6 installments, however, there's not a great deal to do. 5 of these installments are just wires and circuit board. And then the final one is the starting of the center console. So, as I say, not a lot to do, but there is a lot of wires, and I do mean a lot of wires. We have all of these packs that are all wires, and what I'm going to do, I am just going to combine them into one piece rather than splitting them up into the stages. I'll tell you each point when I do change to a different stage, but as you can see, it's all wires, and we've already got the circuit board, which we're going to be plugging pretty much all of these wires into. So let's get into it. Let's get building.
Welcome to the workshop. Tools are ready to play. We're gonna build something great. Starting here today. Piece by piece we go now.
Right, so we've got the next 6 issues of the Fast and Furious Skyline. We did also get our free mug this time. That's looking just like that. Very, very shiny. And you can't put it in the dishwasher or the microwave. But that is what it's looking like. So I'll put that to one side for a minute. So we've got the next 6 issues, as I said, and what I'm going to do, apart from this one, which is something a little bit different, I'm going to run through all of these as one section. So I'll give you a flick through all the magazines first, and then you can see what we're actually going to be doing. So you can see we've got plenty of wires, and we've got this little mini extension board where we're going to be plugging several of those wires into, and then that gets plugged into the main circuit board. So that's 45 and 46. And we have more wires. And as you can see, we're adding to that same circuit board and then adding some more to the primary circuit board. And then moving on to 47. And more of the lighting system. And more wires to go into the main circuit board. Like that. And then we've got 48. And again, very similar. We actually got the battery box in this one. And as you can see, plugging more wires into there, more into that little junction box. And we end up with this spaghetti at the end of it. And then 49. More wires. We actually have the speaker. And again, lots more wires being joined together and put into the main circuit board. And as you can see, we will be testing this. So we've got some batteries there. We need to grab our remote and our main circuit board, obviously. So I've got those. And this is just showing us all the things that each of the buttons will do. And it will show us that they all work. And then we have that pile of spaghetti at the end of it. So that's 5 issues that I'm going to do all in one go. Right, so these are the parts we've got this time around. And as you can see, plenty of wires. We've got this splitter cable. We've got this little PCB section. which is effectively just another type of splitter. And as you can see, we've got all these cables as well, and these are all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're all going to get linked onto there, and then this is going to get linked to the main circuit board that's over there. So with our PCB splitter here, starting at this end, we're basically just going to be putting the cables on here. Now we've got a black and a red. Now the black cable is going to go onto the back one, and the red one is going to go onto the front one, like that. I don't know why they couldn't have done that as a single 2-pin plug, but they haven't. And basically we're just going to do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And finishing up with number 6. So you have that PCB splitter looking just like that, with the black cables all on this side and all the red cables on this side. And then it's just a case of getting our splitter wire and the label end away from us. So the non-label side is going into this plug. And it will only go in one way, like that. And then this end, which has the O label on it, we're going to find O on our circuit board, which is just here. And we're going to plug that cable in. And that is all to do in that stage. And this is what we get in issue 46. And very similar, we've now got a set of new cables labeled from 7 to 10, it looks like. And they're just going to carry on this PCB. So just matching them up again. So red's on the same side, black's on the same side, starting with number 7. So 7, and this will be number 8, 9, and 10. The other cables we have here will be plugged directly into the circuit board. So you have S, got these 2 LEDs on the end, and S is this one in the bottom corner here. And this one is labelled Q, which is just there. Now this one labelled C, we do have an extension cable, also labelled C. We want to match up those coloured cables. So in this case it's white to white and black to black. And that's going to go into port C, which is this one just here. We then have this other circuit board, and this has label P. That one's just going in there. Then we have this one that's T. And then we have this one, which again has another little circuit board on the end of it. And this one is U. So just going to plug that one in there, like so. So we now have all those plugged in, and that's the end of that stage. Obviously, if you're doing like me and using a Stanley knife to chop through your plastic, make sure your wires are out the way and you don't slice through those. As you can see, we've got lots more different colours in this one, but we are still doing a very similar thing. So we've got some black and red ones, and again, they've got numbers on, and those ones are going to go into this junction box again, and exactly the same. So we finished up that one with 10, so we've got number 11 here, and again, black one to the back. So that's 11, and we have 12. Now, I'm sure after doing this all wiring up and testing, we can't just dump this in the car, so I'm sure we're going to have to disassemble all of this again at some point. And again, now we've just got the lettered cables. So we've got a G, inches down in that corner. We have an M, which is there. We have an L, which is there. We have a V, which is just there. We have N, which is on that top row. We have D, which again is split into these two sections. So you just need to join those two together. Again, black to black, white to white. And as I said, that is D. So that one's plugging into this bit here. We have W, which is that top one. Again, just double check that you get them the right way around. You don't want to force the plug in. And then we have I, it's on the bottom here. And then we have K. And H. And finally, we have J, which is going in just there. And that's all there's to do in that stage. So we're now at stage 48, and we do have our battery box this time around. And we have still some more numbered black and red cables. And again, they're just going to go onto this junction box, starting with number 13. And then 14. And then 15. 16. Finally, 17 for this one. So that leaves us just the one on there that's not populated. And then that just leaves us with cable B, which is a switch, which goes up the top here. And our battery box, which is cable A. And I believe this is the bottom part of the nitrous tanks. So this will sit next to the driver's seat. That is all there is to do in that stage. So the penultimate stage, 49, we have some more lighting and we have a speaker. And we're going to finish off this box, so with number 18. And again, just matching up that red and black cable, like so. And then again, we've got some lettered cables, which are in two parts. So this one is F. And again, just matching in the black and white cables, like so. And plugging it into corresponding slot on the board, which, as you can see, there are not many left now. So F is that one in there. And then we have another one the same, which is E. And again, that's just going to be a case of black to black, white to white, and find its corresponding slot on the board, which is going to be down here. And then we do have cable R, which is our speaker. Trying to find the empty slot, which is buried under there. And that's the speaker in. Now at this point, we do need to get some batteries and we need to test it. We need some AAAs, it looks like. There we are, 4 AAA batteries in there. Just find our switch. We'll turn that on. And the first button we're going to press is this one. And it lights up like a Christmas tree. Right, so that should light up all the lights on the PCB splitter. So let's just separate those ones out and ensure that all these light up, which, as far as I can see, they all do. So everything on that PCB is working. And then we should also have W. Right, so that's W, and that one's not working. So I'll just unplug, replug it back in, check it. Make sure it is the correct way around, which it is. Right, so at the minute, W potentially is not working for me. And then we've got P that should work, which is this longer circuit board. So as you can see, P is working fine. We should have Q. Which is the other grey and black cable. There's a blue LED on that one. And we should have T lighting up, which it is. And we should have S lighting up, which it is. We've got a white and a blue LED on that one. We should have U lighting up, which is this one. And that's that circuit board, which it is. We should have C lighting up, is that one. We should also have D, E, and F. So that should be these 4 with the red neons. So that's C and F. That's E, and that's D. So C, D, and F are all lighting up as well. Now, I've just noticed there's a couple LEDs over here that are lit up, which I don't think we've been asked to check. That's M. Right, so W hasn't lit up, but M has. I believe that's a mistake because I'm just looking ahead through the instructions, and it looks like we test W later on. So I'm going to go with that should be M, not W, that should be lit up. But we'll find out if that one lights up with the rest of the testing. So next test is the horn, which works. We also have, I'm assuming, engine. Just about hear that. Turn that one off. So we'll go with dipped lights. That's these ones lighting up. And that is cable V, which is correct. And next we have high beam headlights. So that's that one lit up just then. That's N, which is correct. Now this one will only work if the dipped headlights and top left buttons are activated. And then this is the one I think should light this up. So this one says it should light W up, and indeed it does. So I'm pretty sure when it said W at the beginning, it's actually M. So that one obviously is working absolutely fine. Next we should have some indicators. So we've got the 2 arrows here. So we've got that one, which is H, and that one there, which is G, which is correct. So you can press that again and turn those off, and press the other ones. And we've got this one, which is L, and this one, which is K. Again, press it again, it'll turn off. Now I have noticed this one is not lighting up, as you can see, and it should. It's on that same cable. So I do have a failed LED there. So I need to work out which pack that came in and request a new one from Fanhome. Again, we've got hazards, which should turn them all on. And as you can see, those are working fine. We've got this brown cable with those 2 on. But this one with the 2 on, as you can see, is not working on the 1 LED there. So that does need replacement. So we can turn that off again by pressing the hazard again. And then we should have reversing lights with this R button. There we go. So we've got a nice bright white one there. And that is cable I. Again, press that again, it should turn off. And then we've got the brake button. And you can just hopefully see those get a little bit brighter. When those are pressed. And then we've got a final button there that doesn't do anything. And that is all there's to do in those 5 stages. And presumably, if I press this button again, everything will turn off. So, looks like Christmas, doesn't it? Right, now what we do need to do, we need the car for one issue, which is the next issue, and we need this part and the speaker, because we're going to be attaching that to the chassis. So I'm going to clear all this out of the way, and bring the car up, and we'll look at the parts we've got for the next issue. Right, so finishing this off with issue 50. And look through this final magazine. As you can see, we have the center console here. We've got some KP screws. And we're just assembling that. We're not putting that into the car. We need to get the speaker from there. And then we're adding that to the back of the chassis, as I said, using that retaining clip to screw it in place with 2 CM screws. So first things first, we're going to get our center console. We've got some KP screws as well. I'm going to flip this over. We have this little compartment here. That's going to slot in like so. And as you can see, that will open up. We're going to sandwich that in using this piece. And that's just going to slot down in there like so. And then we have 3 KP screws to hold that in place. One in there. Next one in there. And then the final one is going in just the end, just there. So that's what our center console is looking like. We've got that little door that now opens for the cup holders. Not going to do anything else with that. I'm going to put that to one side. Going to bring our car over, and it's this rear section that we're interested in. Going to take our speaker. That's just going to sit in there like so. Now, speaker wire is shown to be pointing off to the side here. We have our retaining clip, and there's a couple of little recesses on those mounting points, so they're going to go over the mounting lugs there. That's going to sit just like that. And then we've got 2 CM screws to hold that in place. Now, first time screwing anything together on this build, or this build pack. So again, going into metal, just going to put that in some oil. I'm just dipping the ends of the screw into oil, so you're not soaking them in oil. It's just enough to help drive the screw in. So that is now in there like so. Now that is a tad loose in there, surprisingly. So that'll probably bounce around if it gets used. So it might be worth putting a little bit of foam or something in there to help that, or maybe get a bigger speaker to go in there, which is something I might do. That's a 0.5 watt. Can't tell what ohm it is. It's a bit faded. But that is all there's to do in that stage, and all there is to do in that build pack. Now, just because idle curiosity, obviously this is the battery box, and that's going to sit in there eventually. And presumably the cables are going to run through there, like that. So presumably that's how it's going to sit when it's in there. Now, more than likely what will happen with this is I won't be using that. More than likely what will happen, looks like cable's going to probably run along here, obviously to get to the PCB back there. What I'm probably going to do is probably drill a hole through this metal and put a power mod in. Obviously it's probably going to be easier than trying to drill it through the center here or anywhere along here. But the PCB is going to sit just there. So all I'd need to do, obviously that will sit like that. I don't need to run a cable from there. Obviously the battery box and everything will retain there because obviously it's part of that design. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is do my usual, drill a hole through there and put a power mod in, because I don't like using batteries for these. They work so much better when you can plug them into a USB or something like that. I'm sure there's only 4 batteries in there, so it's only going to be 5 to 6 volts. So that will work absolutely fine. And it also means that you can then have it on all the time and have the remote control working all the time as well, without having to come in here and switch it on, because it looks like the power switch is going to be just here. And to be fair, that's probably not the best place for that power switch, if in my opinion, because it's actually going to be inside the car. I don't know if whatever's going to go over this, obviously the NOS tanks, are going to hide that power switch. But again, you're then reaching in the car, one, to change the batteries, because that's going to be screwed down. I can see changing batteries in this to be an absolute nightmare, because obviously you've got the door and you're going to be reaching in, taking off whatever's over this, which would be the NOS tanks, and replacing the batteries. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to have batteries in this one, and I will come up with some sort of power mod. And as I say, it'll more than likely be drill a hole through this metal chassis, which almost seems a shame to do, I know, but I think that's probably going to be the best option for a power mod on this one. Right, so that is it for that stage and for that issue. I just wanted to explore that first, and as I say, if you're thinking about power modding this, then potentially just a hole through there, because there's no battery box cover or anything like that, because of the all there, and you won't want to drill through up through this, because again, you'd be going through metal as well, and then into that battery box. It's not worth doing, especially when the cable just comes up to here anyway. And obviously this is going to be a low car, so you don't want a power jack under there. You want it underneath a high point, which should be just here, be absolutely fine. Obviously allowing for the circuit board to sit there as well. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to hit the like button below. Give us a massive thumbs up. So that certainly illuminated the situation a little bit. It's now looking a bit more like a Christmas tree than a car. But we know it had lots of lights on it anyway. Obviously, not much to do. Lots of wires, but not much building done today. Grand total, I think, over those 6 issues was about 5 screws. 3 of which went into this center console, which obviously is going to sit in there at some point. I will contact Fanhome about my LED that's not functioning. I don't know, doesn't feel like it's a dodgy connection. It's not lighting up when I wiggle the wires, and obviously it's in a series, so if this one lights up, we know that one's getting power. So, but not bad. Only 1 LED out of the whole lighting system not working, but it's obviously a good time and a good way to show you that obviously testing at this stage before it's too late and you've built half the car around the LED and then find it doesn't work is a great time to test it when you can still change it nice and easily. So that is great. Not great that it's not working, but a great time to find out that it's not working. So it is definitely worth, as I showed, making sure going through every single cable and testing that all the lights work as expected, especially when it came to that W cable where the instructions are actually wrong, and I'm pretty sure it should be an M cable on that very first instruction, and then the W cable is the rear fog light that's tested a little bit later on. So that is it for the Skyline. If you want to see more of how this progresses or anything else that goes on in the workshop, please remember to hit the subscribe button and ding the bell for notifications. That way you'll know when I release new videos. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers!